Hey y'all, it is Moonlight Cowboy, and today we are going to do 25 wall tricks. I know this is going to be a lot, so hopefully you can hang through and watch the whole video, and hopefully you'll be able to learn something today. So the first tricks are going to just be super easy ones, just because I'm going to need those to explain some of the tricks later. This one is just how to remove walls from doors. You just turn the wall from a doorway into a regular wall, and then delete it, and then you can change the door to whatever style door you want. Pretty easy trick. It's not related to anything coming up, but I wanted to throw this in there just because there might be some people that don't know about it. All right, so real quick, I'm covering double walls. You can use the red brick or the red barn set to then place the walls face to face. For our first of two free place wall blueprints, basically I'm putting a mat down between the doorway there, and then I'm going to turn it into a wall. The reason I'm doing that is it's going to break that seal between the wall and the foundation. Without breaking that seal, the wall will not place on a foundation. It's going to think that it needs to snap there. So this is the way to get around it. You can also use a camp item off to the side, which I have done, but then you can't place it on the foundation exactly that way. I'm going to blueprint that, and now I can place it on the floor because the rug gets in the way of that connection. And then of course I don't have to just place it on the floor. I can go ahead and just place it anywhere that I want now. And there we go. Woo! All right, this is going to be a lot. We got this. All right, so the next one, this one is super duper easy. Again, that's just showing you how to, you can turn the walls into the doorways and then be able to remove the foundations. Again, you're just going to need to know that for later tricks. For those of you who do not know that, well, congratulations. It is a very basic but an essential trick. Real quick, we covered regular half walls. I'm going to do double walls. These brick ones right here, when you break them, that is the way you're going to be able to double the half walls, like so. And similar situation with those angled walls up there, so break those. Now you got to be really careful with these angled walls, because unlike the other ones, it will let you snap another wall into there. See, like it was trying to snap into the other wall, but we want to actually snap it there where the wall side is facing over on this side, since there's already a wall over there. So just something to keep an eye out for when you are trying to place that, because they are kind of a pain to separate. You have to break all the walls. All right, so this is free place option number 2, and I have to give a shout out to Aussie Kitty Kat, who is the one that I do believe has originated this trick. This has kind of become a staple for me to use, and I'll show you a few examples later where I do this. So one thing I do with this, I can also wallpaper it. I add the vines and I can do a double wall version. So I'm going to show you the double wall version. You could just do the single wall version with one wall and one vine, but I wallpaper this, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute. I put the mat underneath, and so it's going to be those 5 items: the 2 vines, 2 walls that are wallpapered, and then the mat underneath. And boom, I can place it anywhere that I want. Now, why did I wallpaper that, right? Look at this. So now I can see that that wall is just a touch off, and you wouldn't be able to do that without the wallpaper on there. I use a white wallpaper to make sure that it's lined up perfectly. All right, so wall inserts. So this is for textured walls and putting windows inside of walls. This is the free placing technique. I'm going to show you another technique towards the end of the video. So for this, we're going to need the abandoned mine set, and I'm going to destroy those. The reason why these are great is because you can free place walls inside of them, and you can snap some items through those walls. Even though this wall is red, one of my blueprinted walls that I made with the vines, the single version, like I told you about earlier, I was able to place that right in the wall, no problem. So now I'm just going to turn these over into the walls that I want them to be. So as we do that, I'm going to take a breath because this is going to be a long video. So there, I change those into those windows, and then I can open those shutters up. And this is just one idea that you can use that for. You can also do those with other windows. Not all of them are going to look great, but this is the real reason I wanted to show you this, not just for the glass, but because I love adding texture to my walls. So as you see here, I added that 3rd wall, and you can do this more than 3 times. I'm going to do this 4 times for just this example. But I like that cool texture on the side. You see that? That to me is really cool. Could be Japanese, could just be modern. So I'm going to break this wall again, and you can really, I guess, add as many walls as you want. I've only done as far as 4. I don't see a need to do more than that. But I did the same thing. I flipped it around, And now I have the texture on both sides. And because I used that fourth wall, I was able to wallpaper it that clean white underneath. So again, pretty cool modern look. So using walls to merge foundation, I'm going to show you two ways to do that. This is the straightaway way. So there I put on doors, and I double walled that. And I'm going to add a foundation to like 3/4 of the way because I want to merge them to where they overlap by 1/4. So as you see there, I'm going to flip this foundation over to this side. And I'm going to move that wall to where they're facing each other, or facing away from each other, like so. And I'm going to move that foundation back, and I'm going to remove that first wall that I had. Okay. So now I can just blueprint these 4 items, the 2 foundations and the 2 walls. And I'm going to save that blueprint. And then when I place them, as you're going to see right here, they will snap together. Now, the downside of doing it this way is you see how it has that flickering in the middle. I'm going to show you a way to get around that. So in this example, I'm doing the exact same thing, except I'm going to remove that other foundation real quick so it's not going to snap to the wall. I'm just going to do a tiny little slight adjustment to it, moving it. See, I tried to move it down. I'm going to move it over a little bit. In just a second. There we go. And yeah, and then I'm just going to move it back. But see, I took it down a touch. So I want to be as exact as possible here, but I took it down probably a pixel. And you're going to see the difference that makes. So now I'm going to add that foundation back. I'm going to do that process again. I'm going to add that wall back. You can also use foundations to maneuver your walls. Or, I'm sorry, foundations. You can also use catwalks to maneuver your walls. So see, I was able to attach that catwalk, and I flipped that wall around. So probably should have added that as a trick you could do too. But we're going to do one about underpinnings here in a little bit. It's going to kind of show you the same thing. All right, so now I'm going to blueprint that, and watch this. We're going to do a side-by-side view. No flickering on that one, flickering on the other one. And then when we add flooring, you can really see the difference. No flickering, flickering. All right, so use walls to merge foundations the custom way. So using my double wall blueprint, it didn't have to be a double wall blueprint. I just did this out of convenience because I like this blueprint a lot. Thank you, Aussie Kitty Kat. I am going to take these foundations away, and I'm going to snap some other foundations behind this. Okay, like so. All right, and because I used the double wall, I can remove these other walls real quick. Once I turn them into, oh, yep, there we go. And then I can just blueprint this, right? So, bam, 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 bam. And, yep, saving everything under the same blueprint today. Go up to the top, and watch this. Boom. Now they are merged together. Now I could have raised that other wall a touch, or the other, foundation a touch, so to speak, and it would have gotten rid of the flickering, but you already know how to do that. So I just wanted to show you how to get them to intersect at an angle like that. All right, so this is something I like to do, building offset walls in rooms. So there's a couple of ways I could have done this. I put a mat down to show you that you could just put a mat, and then the catwalk won't get in the, or the wall won't get in the way when you try and snap a wall to it. Whereas in before, it's looking for that snapping point. So here, I'm going to go ahead and remove those catwalks. I'm going to show you the other way here in a minute. So I went ahead and did the second way, which is just moving the foundation over and having it snap to those walls. And look, now I have an offset little room, and it's going to make my house look a little bit more custom, just having it offset like that. So now I want to intersect walls. So to do this, I basically use this catwalk, and I put down half walls. So there's a destroyed half wall that's already in place. Then, because I want to double wall it, I'm going to do a wall going out one extra catwalk and then bringing it back. That way it gets that double wall effect. And once that's done, all I have to do is put that up there, add a catwalk or some table or something, so that way I have some place to place my flamethrower, excuse me. And once I have room for that, I'm going to destroy that one and add the second wall up there after I replace it. There we go. And then I've got to repair that other one below in order to snap the wall above it, like so. Now I'm adding this first because I removed the other walls, because once I get these to like another type of wall, like I could have done it on those walls, but I like using the glass walls because it's a wider margin. You'll see how much thinner, or how much like how thin, excuse me, that the walls go. Now I can add those other full walls back, like so, and because the half walls have been destroyed, they're out of the way. And yeah, so now I have my room back. And then now I have a little divider. So in the bathroom, like I intend this to be like maybe the bathroom, and then I have a divider between the shower and then like where the toilet would be. And then back there I might have some nooks. And then after I'm done adding wallpaper and changing the walls around, that's how it looks. Pretty cool, right? All right, merging wall lengths. This is one I've been asked about a lot. So again, using the abandoned mine wall set, I turn those into doors and remove the foundations already, since you guys know how to do that, and I double walled them. Okay, so now after I've destroyed those, notice that they're about a half wall length apart. I went ahead and added the foundations to where it's going to meet right in the middle using catwalks, and then I was just able to snap the half wall in right there. And then once I break that half wall, I can remove this foundation right here, and boom, I can change my walls around. Once I change them to whatever I want, which I'm just going to go with the white today, I now will have the glass walls in here. Now it's going to be tough to click on that wall to repair it, so I can just go over to my camp repair thing, and there we go. So now I have custom length walls. I recently did that for a build that came out pretty cool. Alright, so using walls as decor. I did a tutorial on a TV before. I'm going to do it here again because it serves another purpose. So typically, like when I'm using it for a TV, I'll find the like thing that I want it to sit on, and I'll just add it to that like that, as you saw. So I had one extra table off to the side so where I could add it, and there I've got a cool TV using a half wall blueprint version of the blueprints that we showed you before. But this is why I wanted to do this, because you can also find some of the wallpapers that look like art, and I think that looks cool too, and it's very unique. Now on to making hallways out of walls. This is a bit tricky, so just a heads up. So what we're going to do, we have already a double wall over on this side, and I'm going to fast forward through this process a little bit, so bear with me. But basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the foundations and I'm just inching them away slowly but surely. If you look up towards the top, they're perfectly aligned. So I'm going to do this several times. Again, going to fast forward through it. And yeah, we're going to try and make this more of like a grand entrance look. Again, it can be tricky. If you notice, I line up all my foundations using the toolbar at the bottom, so that way I know it's going to go straight. And I do it from above so that way it doesn't raise up. So that way I know that it's going to be aligned well. Use parts of your screen to make sure your alignment goes well when you're doing things like with walls and whatnot. And there we go. So now it's a little thicker, but I don't really like the white, so I went ahead and changed it to the black, the burnt walls, and that looks pretty cool. All right, so floating walls using roofs. This one's an easy one. All I'm going to do is place a roof, an angled roof on top of that wall, and then I can attach another wall to it. Then I'm going to change that wall from angled to flat, and then I can remove it. Now, why would I want to have a wall in the air? Well, this is how you do a lot of your floating builds. So from here, I can just use a catwalk, add another wall, and then, as you'll see with my roofs in a second, I'm going to place a roof there. I'm going to angle it, and I have a nice tutorial on roofs too if anybody wants to see that. It's pretty insightful. I love using roofs very much. I love them more than walls. That's why it's taken me this long to do a wall tutorial. And yeah, so I was able to add basically roofs as floors and roofs as roofs. I can then change them to whatever I want, and yeah, that's the base idea of how you do a floating build. All right, now we're on to underpinning. So this is the first option. So this one's the easy one. You just put a catwalk onto the edge of your foundation. And you can go around your whole camp and do this. Now, you're going to run into some areas where you just can't place a wall. For instance, over on this next one, it's kind of a longer length, so I'm not going to use a half wall. I'd want to use a full wall. But when I try and place that half wall, darn it, it's just not going to place. So you have to go underground for some of those. So, but this way you can get the underpinnings all around your camp. You don't get those ugly foundations. And it's kind of one of those things that people look for when they're looking for like a, somebody who really knows how to build, especially with the clean builds. Now here's the option 2. This is for reversing the walls, because there are some pretty looking walls that where the other side of the wall looks really cool for underpinning. So I extended those walls out so I can remove these foundations. So I'm going to get rid of those. And then I'm going to add 2 catwalks. And the reason I'm doing this is because this way I can reverse all these walls. So now I'm going to add my catwalks real quick, and then I'm going to add a wall to each of those. And yeah, so now I've gotten rid of those. I'm going to remove the initial walls. And yeah, so now I can add my catwalk back. I basically reversed it now, so now the walls will be facing the other way, like so. Of course, because of that one that wants to be really tricky, I'm going to have to go back underground, but that's no problem. We'll just snap that from underground. It's really easy. Boom. And so once I do that, we can remove the catwalks and then the initial sets of walls. And then we can change these wall types to whatever we want. I really like the new stone look for these walls from the new wallpaper that came out. It's new as of this moment, newish. But as you see, I'm going to move those into the fire hazard walls, which I like that. And that looks really cool as an underpinning. You could use like the catacomb wallpapers. There's all kinds of good ones. All right, sink walls into foundations. So here, I'm going to just raise up this foundation. And that way it's about the height that I want that wall to be that I'm going to have in the foundation. So now I'm going to catwalk out. And you'll determine the length of catwalks based on your needs, but that just shows you how I'm doing it. So now I'm going to catwalk off of that wall, and I want it to go down like that to where it's partially sticking out. All right, and this one's really easy. That's all I really had to do, and I can snap the foundations in. So, and then I can just change it to whatever wall I want, and then I can have like a feature in my house. Maybe it's a divider for a couch or who knows what. Now this is the other way to do this. This one's the trickier way. So what if you want to do it at a bias or an angle, right? So I can then do the same thing with the full walls, but then I change it into the abandoned mindset, because the abandoned mindset is the only one that is fully transparent and allows you to snap other building materials through. So once we get it to the abandoned mindset, I'm going to destroy it. And once it's destroyed, we can snap the foundations back through it, like so. And then we can change it to whatever style wall we want. Maybe I want a glass wall, who knows? But that's the way you can put walls into foundations. All right, so this one's an easy one. Destroyed walls also look cool, especially for builds like the like if you want to do like an immersive or scrappy build. But this is one that I like those for fences and railings. The one that I was just talking about with like doing like an immersive scrappy build. Say I have 2 different walls right here. I'm going to go back to the new fire hazard set. So I double walled those, as you guys know how to do by now. And then I am going to destroy that first wall. And now look, looks like some of the plaster came off of the brick. It looks cool. This is one I'm going to touch on. This is more of a promo for one that I did recently. This is a tutorial on how to make walls as stairs. I wanted to throw it in here because it deserves to be here, but it's a cool blueprint. I highly recommend you check out that video. All right, so this one is the slant walls. These things are a real pain to work with, and I don't use them much, but I do like the way that they look when they're done right. So in this example, I'm going to stack them, and so I'm using roofs to do that. Like that, and like that. Once I get them into place, I can then snap the other ones in once I reverse them. See how I reverse the one, and I can snap the other one. So I'm going to do the same down below, and I'm going to be able to reverse that one too. See, and then I can just snap the other one in. It's got to be the other wall. So flip to the other one. They are finicky too. So, and then you can just wallpaper them. And I'm sure you've seen some builds out there that have used this technique. It is a cool technique, and I do appreciate it. All right, so using the fascia walls for railings. There's other ideas that you can do this for. I just came up with this for this tutorial, but this is kind of how I like to manipulate these things. So for this, I'm going to remove the foundations, only because I'm probably going to have to destroy these walls. Sometimes, again, they can be really tricky. So I was able to snap that one in, but for some reason, none of the other ones would go. So I went ahead and destroyed those walls. There we go. And then I'm able to then snap in the other fascia walls. And there's that. So then all I have to do is just move my roofs and flex them, as I call it, but basically turn them from angled to flat or flat to angled, whatever. And I can get rid of those. And then I can again make these whatever I want. I'm going to go with the fire hazard since I already have those for my underpinning. And then you get a little bit of extra detail. They're railings that now match the way your underpinnings look. Now sometimes you'll see that this one is accidentally reversed. And then all you really have to do with these is change it to the other style. So like you just move the arrow over one, as you saw over in the side, and then it'll turn into the side that you want to use. These are weird like that. They don't flip backwards and forwards. They flip like front to back. Yeah, so that's how that looks. Pretty interesting. All right, so next up, hiding things in walls. This one's pretty basic as well. So I like to use the glass walls for this because it gives you a big, like, you know, basically you could drive a car through it. Destroy that, turn those into whatever walls I want. Now I probably should have left them destroyed because I'm going to have to destroy these particular shelves that I decided to use for some crazy reason. They're not even that great looking, but just for an example. Once I destroyed each individual one instead of destroying them all, and then that way I could repair those items, and then I just put little ducks on them as an example. So we'll do that one, repair that one, put a duck, and I'll do it for all four of them just for context. Probably should have sped this one up. And yeah, that's how that ends up looking. So you can get some items to stick partially out of your wall. So this is the pit wall, and these are some tricks that I like to use with the pit wall. This will round out my video. What's neat about the pit wall set, as doorways, you can destroy them, and then you can snap other walls inside of them. So rather than having to free place them, you can snap them inside. Now I showed the other trick because you can't do like the texture because it's too clean. You can't push it out. They snap too close inside of each other. But this is really cool for doing things like adding windows or other different textures. And you're going to see that in a minute because we're going to do something really cool with the Clean Ranch wall windows. They, for some reason, don't allow you to wallpaper that wall. I think at some point they allowed it. But anyways, in the meantime, here we go. So I added that glass wall there. Then I can just open those shutters up. And yeah, those windows which don't normally have glass in them, now they have a cool glass / design in the middle of them, which actually came out pretty cool. All right, so this one is a fan favorite. So I'm using the same technique, but double walling the pit walls. And then I'm going to add half walls to the bottom. And in order to do that, I do the brick, destroy that, and add another brick. Now, why am I only adding half walls? Well, I'll show you. This is really cool. For those of you like myself who really, really love the Clean Ranch set, but you are tired of the fact that you can't use wallpaper on that set. It will not let you for some reason. I believe it used to. But anyways, so now I can change those pit walls into the Clean Ranch. And watch this, because I have the other walls there. I can now add wallpaper to the Clean Ranch set. It can be whatever wallpaper I want. So for those of you who've given up on those windows because you cannot add wallpaper to them and it frustrates you, well, now you have a solution. You can do other cool things too. You can turn those into windows, and then you can create your own kind of wainscoting down there, which I think is also cool. And I'm going to leave you with some other ideas. So I still left the half walls on these, and then I just did the top part as the full wall, so you can get some cool upper window effects doing that. And then this way, I did it with using half wall double-sided. Now this is going to be a budget eater, but you know, some of the effects can be kind of cool. You can create like a little pass-through, or if you were to lower those walls, you could create like a ticket window or something like that. And as we're flipping through the last of those, I just want to take a moment and say thank you for watching this video, this tutorial. I hope you found it to be insightful. If you liked it and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, share with your friends, like it. For those of you who finished it with me, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you again.